So the last time we spoke on this platform, we were looking at the vulnerability of a girl child. And after that podcast, there were several calls requesting for me to look at the boy child. They just said that the boy is equally as vulnerable as the girl. And well, yes, we are saying the same thing. It's just that we felt like looking at the girl at that point in time. So today we'll be looking at the vulnerability of the boy. The boy child is also vulnerable, but from another perspective. It's not exactly like we look at it from the girl's angle. Now, a lot of times parents feel that their boys should be strong. Generally in society they say, you are a man. And that quote, you are a man, is like you are not supposed to be weak, you are not supposed to be vulnerable, you are not supposed to, express any form of weakness. But it's a lie. We are all humans and we all have emotions. Now, before I go on with this, I want to share a story with you. So, there's this child that came to my office, a teenager, after the counseling class we had. Well, during the process of the discussion in the class, it was a group counseling class. We were looking at why teenagers go into sexual intercourse that early in life. And they were given several reasons. And this boy said, for fun. That caught my attention. For fun? Something this important for fun? And he said, yes, for fun. And we went on talking. We had to draw their attention to the consequences of going into sexual intercourse at that early age in life. And at the end of the whole class, I left, I went to my office, and surprisingly, this particular boy came to me. He was like, this is the first time I'll be hearing this. It was like what we talked about in class really touched him, and he was sober. So I was wondering, why was he this sober? That made me to ask him to see, because I really wanted to know why he became so sober. In the class, he was catching fun with the whole thing. But by the time he came to my office, he was so sober. So while we were talking, I guess because of the way we analyzed everything during the class, he became really, really concerned about himself. And he told me that usually at home, he is the first child and the first son, and they had a cousin, female cousin, living with them in the house. And the second child, his younger brother, does better academically, according to him, and the parents prefer that one to him. So every time he does anything, they run him down, they compare him with his younger brother, and he said he always feels depressed. They are kind of well-to-do, so they have gadgets in their room. He said for every time they put him down like that and he's depressed, he switches off to his phone and he watches pornography. Just to make himself happy, he goes into all those sites and all of that. He just shuts his door and he goes into all of that. Now this cousin, younger one in their house, decided to console him, because that one noticed that they're always putting him down. She got close to him, and on one of those occasions, of course, when she comes around, they watch all these things together, they play together, and he just slept with her, had sex with her in their house. Parents were not aware. And of course, since the girl didn't mind, subsequently, when they put him down and he's feeling bad like that, and that girl comes around, he sleeps with the girl. And that was why he said it's for fun. because for him, that just gets him out of the rejection, the depression. So he just took it as something not really serious until that counseling class. So we had to walk him through how he can disengage himself from such should I call it habit now, because it had become part of them and they felt they were playing. So we had to discuss on how he can come out of this. And then after all of that, because of course he wanted a change, that was why he came. And since he wanted to stop it, it was easy for him to stop because he wanted to stop it. We only just needed to guide him and tell him what to do, and he came out of it. But why am I sharing his story? What makes these boys vulnerable is because they lack counsel. Most parents don't walk their children, their male child, through the process in life. Just imagine a child that is 5 years playing with a girl that is maybe 5 years, and the boy starts crying and say, "You are a man now, why are you crying for a girl?" I'm sure you hear that everywhere. You are a man now. Every time is you are a man, you are a man. So nobody really walks them through the process of life. Nobody thinks about their emotions. Nobody thinks about their psychological feelings. Nobody thinks about, it's just assumed that they are strong. I'm sharing this now just like a wake-up call. If you have a boy, don't assume that the boy should know. Try to tell the boy what he needs to know. He needs to be taught. He needs to be guided. He needs to be led through the processes. A lot of them come to discover different stages of their life by themselves. Some of them, you can find boys trying to fend for themselves very early in life. Some of them just live out of their parents' home because they've heard that they are men. Before they become men, let them go through the process of being a boy who can feel, who can cry, who can talk, who can speak up, who can be vulnerable, who can express, not letting them shut up their emotions. I'll be continuing on this the next time we'll be talking here. But I also know you have some experiences. And I was asking myself, who is to teach them? It's a question I'm asking. Who should teach these boys? When parents are not there, who should teach them? A lot of them are taking advantage of girls doing one thing or the other, and we are crying. The boys are going into drugs. The boys are doing this. The boys are doing. When we don't sit down to educate them, some of them, they figure out life by themselves. I want you to share your comments at the comment section. Whatever you have seen around you that you want us to look into, share at the comment section, because we need to reason out this together. If we are crying that the girl should not be molested, the boy also should be taught the right way to handle life. I'll be expecting to see and read from you. And if you're in agreement with what you are doing, just hit the like button so that we can go on this journey together. Thank you.